Hey guys, this week's segment with RFD-TV is really important because we discussed how less than ideal weather conditions set a stressful mood for this year's rice planting season. We not only talked about California, but Arkansas, also a large rice producing state where farmers suffered from severe flooding. So let's dive right into the segment.
Spring rains caused some big setbacks in field work for planting rice this year. Rice Farming TV's Matthew Sligar explains that producers were able to accomplish some field work between storms.
It looks dry on the surface. It's cracked and light brown. Now here is where episode 29 of Rice Farming TV is aired. It's titled Burning the Winter Away. The link is down in the description box. But first, let's watch some of that devastating footage of the spring flooding in Arkansas. Then we'll go into my live interview discussing California's woes.
And they also grow a lot of rice in Arkansas, where the State Farm Bureau Vice President Rich Hillman and Secretary Treasurer Joe Christian took to the skies to survey flood devastation, including hundreds of acres of rice fields.
You realize how big it is, how big encompass that it's going to affect, how many people it's going to affect. When you're on the ground, you're thinking of your little area. They're all out. It's just tons of acres, you know, and it's just going to affect so many people.
When you fly over it, and like I say, 1,500 to 2,000 foot, you see the enormity of the water across the ground. But when you look down and isolate your eyesight on one farm, you see a lot of devastation.
Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue pledges the full resources and support of USDA in response to the flooding in Arkansas. Representatives of relevant agencies will be on the ground gathering information and assisting people with their needs. And here to discuss the delays facing not just Arkansas, but California rice farmers when it comes to weather is host of Rice Farming TV, Matt Sligar. Thanks so much for joining us, Matt. And when we watched your video, we saw a series of moisture-rich storms move over Northern California in April. How have conditions since changed?
Well, Christina, first of all, thanks for having me on. It's great to be back with you. My heart goes out to the boys in Arkansas. It's the weather has been difficult here in California as well. And the reason for that is we didn't get started breaking ground until April 24th because of these late spring rains. And our normal MO is to get started April 1st. This has obviously pushed back planting quite a bit, and what that's going to do is create a very narrow planting window. And we're going to get our first field planted here May 12th, we hope. Last year, our last field was planted May 14th.
Wow. Now, how do you feel as far as your confidence goes? Do you think you can get it done?
I think we can get it done. We're going to get as much done as possible. We definitely started groundwork in not the most ideal conditions. However, we're going to get as much put into the ground until June 1st. Once June 1st hits, it could be detrimental to the crop by planting so late. And we do luckily have crop insurance, prevented planting, so we could get crop insurance because of that.
Wow. Now, you said in your video that the later you get delayed by the spring rains, the later you have to wait to harvest. Does that impact yields as well?
Correct. The later we harvest, we run into the risk of running into fall rains. And of course, that could affect yields and the quality of your rice, which could be detrimental to the price which you receive for your rice. Also, this very narrow planting gap, which has been created this year, creates a bit of stress throughout the entire growing season because everyone's planting at the same time. This could be a problem because applicators are too busy. We may have long lines to fly seed on. We may have long lines to get water from the irrigation district because the canals just can't flood up all these fields at the same time. And then, yes, into harvest, with everyone harvesting at the same time, we could have long lines of deliveries at the dryer, and therefore, when the trucks aren't able to return quickly to the fields to pick up more rice, our harvesters might have to stop, and slowing down harvest is the last thing we want, as again, we may run into these fall rains.
Wow. You know, last year at this time, you were concerned about water allocation because of the drought conditions. Now it's a completely opposite scenario. How do you feel going forward? Are you looking looking out for the other farmers as well, do you think that you are going to be able to get that crop in the ground before June 1st across the board in Northern California?
I know, unfortunately, I know a lot of farmers out here that probably aren't. They're lower in the floodplains. Their ground is still underwater. All we can do is work as hard and as fast as possible. And like I said, probably not the best or ideal conditions to break ground, but we got to get as much done as fast as possible to get in by June 1st. And luckily, again, because we have the crop insurance, I do also know some farmers that don't have the preventive planning upgrade to their crop insurance, and they may be in some trouble. And this, I know this is a lot to unpack as well, but with the price of rice so low right now, we really don't have much room or margin for error. And unfortunately, the weather patterns are giving us a difficult situation to work with.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's why we're going to continue to get updates from you each week. Host of Rice Farming TV, Matt Slagar, wishing you all the best when it comes to improved weather conditions and all the farmers in Northern California. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Christina.
Of course. Again, Matt will join us every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern weekly for Rice Farming TV updates.
This planting season for rice certainly started tight and stressful, but with a lot of hard work, we got the job done. Although we did not accomplish it alone, ditch tenders delivered water quickly and efficiently, crop dusters flew on seed promptly and with precision, mechanics and part departments were available around the clock, and I'll speak for my family, but I'm sure it's the same across the state. My wife supported me with all her love. Thank you, Clara. Te amo. And thank you for watching, folks. Please give me a thumbs up, let me know if you have any questions, and subscribe to stay updated. Otherwise, have a great day.